700 exercise number 7. Ready? It was not often that Mr. Wells left his house for very many hours with no one in it. First up, during the day, Miss Black was there for most of the time. First up, Miss Black could not be called his housekeeper, as he himself kept watch on the stores and on the money spent. First up, in fact, he bought most of the food, cleaning materials, and so on his way home from the office, and merely passed them to Miss Black to put away. First up, no, Miss Black could not be given the high sounding name of housekeeper, but neither could she be called the woman who did for him. First up, she fell somewhere between these two high and low points. First up, she was a daily help of the most valuable kind, and she looked after the house of Mr. Wells with as much care as she would have looked after her own had she had one of her own. First up, but she had no house of her own, and in the evening she went off, and even Mr. Wells did not know where she went or what she did. First up, during the day, therefore, his house was in good hands. First up, in the evening, there was himself and there was his brother. First up, generally, they were both at home, for neither of them was much given to going out. First up, they did not like parties, and they did not like the pictures. First up, they did not care to pay high prices to see plays which, in their opinion, were generally not worth the money that had to be spent in getting up to town and paying for a reasonable place. First up, neither of the men had married, and neither had a regular girl friend. First up, their evenings were therefore generally spent in the house, and it was the house that they both loved more than any other thing in the world. First up, it was certainly a lovely little house, far enough away from the city to be almost in the country. First up, it was peaceful, and there were good views from the windows. First up, From the outside, it looked in most ways much like the